And I was always this person who was body shamed, and later on I used that as a weapon to make people laugh.
What was the reaction from your parents?
I bombed. When you bomb constantly, it just makes you either you are unfunny or you're writing unfunny. That cockroach start crawling on my body. I'm like, dude, you should not do this. Take my consent first.
You always say that I want to become a good human being.
I can teach you how to dance. I can teach you how to sing. I cannot teach you how to be funny.
What's the biggest fear that you have?
I might be irrelevant one day.
In a world chasing success, we chose to slow down, listen, and re-engineer from within. After 2 documentaries and 40 plus powerful stories that moved hearts worldwide, this is the Re-Engineered Club. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Re-Engineered podcast. And today I'm truly proud and delighted to have very special guest in my studio because she belongs to my hometown, which is none other than Odisha back in India. Apart from that, she is making movements across India, and now she has stepped into Dubai to do her first performance. She has started a profession, a career which none of the Odia girl might have dreamt of. She is the first and only stand-up comedian Odia girl back in Odisha, and now she is making waves globally. So please welcome Barsha Mishra, the unstoppable, to our show. Welcome, Barsha.
Thank you so much. Those heavy words. I mean,
You completely deserve it.
I'm actually overwhelmed by listening to those words. Thank you so much for the great introduction.
And welcome, first of all, welcome to
Thank
Dubai.
you so
And
much.
how is Dubai treating you?
Lovely. I'm amazed to see the buildings and people and the rules, regulations.
Yes, and I must say that it is one of the safest city in the world.
I have to search for zebra crossing to cross the road, or else in India we can just hop on. Ooh, stop.
Yeah, and how excited are you to perform tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm very excited, and I won't deny that I'm actually nervous as well. And I'm hoping that the show goes well and I get a lot of opportunity to come back again.
And if you like to tell our audience what you are performing and on what occasion you are performing.
So this is Odia New Year, a celebration of Odia legacy at OS UAE, and I absolutely am excited to be there. I'll be performing my first international set, that too in my own mother tongue, that is Odia, and I'm actually looking forward to it and way too excited for it.
And okay, we both belong to the same state and we do understand what kind of medical and engineering pressure that we go through as a career.
Of course.
So how did you swap this pressure to stand-up comedian?
So it goes back to 2018 when I was in my college and I used to make YouTube videos, long form YouTube videos, funny videos. And I was always this person who was body shamed, and later on I used that as a weapon to make people laugh. And I absolutely loved it when people laugh because of me, and I'm the reason to people. So back in 2018 when I was in my college and I was way too frustrated because my course, which is Occupational Therapy, it's a medical course, and you know how the things are. So I used to make long form videos, I used to write it, I used to shoot it. So later on, just because study pressure and everything, it didn't work out. But back in after I did my, I was graduated from my college, and then I started on stand-up comedy, and I started doing content creation on Instagram. And so I never actually asked for permission.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't switch, or I was never a keen person that to ask permission. I like it, I do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like you are from medical profession, right? Medico with occupational therapy. And then when did you decide that, no, this is not what I'm looking for? Actually, comedy is something that is the calling that you get it.
So professionally, and my passion is comedy. So professionally, while I was working at the clinic, I was somewhere or the other was again the funny person in the group. So after 2 months of getting into the clinic, after getting a job, I got an opportunity to do stand-up.
Okay.
So then I realized, okay, this can be done on stage and people will laugh because of me. And because I was all like this funny clown person in the group. And then when I went into the real world and I did it in front of stage, in front of audience, real audience, then I felt, okay, this is something which I can do. I can make people laugh. So I, somewhere or the other, my struggles that I used to end my like job at around 6 p.m. Then I used to run for open mics. I used to run to people like senior comics to learn from them. And wholesome, when I started earning from comedy, content creation, I just left my job. That it's fine that if something is getting somewhere, then I should grab the opportunity. But I won't deny that I'm still in touch with my studies, and I absolutely love learning about health.
Oh, brilliant. And this is so incredible that you mentioned that you were doing your studies, you were doing your occupation, and after 6 p.m., you were running to your seniors to learn from your seniors, right?
Yeah.
So, who was your mentor when you started comedy?
So I started with Comedy Highway, and now they are like full-time managing me, my brand work, my stand-up, and everything. So founder is Satyabrat Mahapatra. He is the founder of the Comedy Highway, and he has been doing comedy for a really long time. So I consider him my father in the comedy sector. So he has like nurtured me, made me learn about how market works, how to do comedy, and he is actually once a person I can rely on, and he's my manager as well. So initially I began with him, not just him, there are a lot more comic, but if I start naming it, I think the podcast will be over with that.
Yeah, the first ones are the best ones, and you just
yeah.
cannot ignore them, or they are the ones who actually show us. And saying that, what was the reaction from your parents when you first started that I will quit my job, I'll quit my everything, but I'll do comedy as my career?
So you ask your parents for a permission when you're financially dependent on them.
Okay.
But when you start earning for yourself, when you have your enough savings that you can travel, that you can do whatever you want to do, then you don't ask for permission.
They say just do it.
So they don't say anything. So initially when I started, I was going for a job, then I was doing comedy. So they did not have any problem. The problem started when they saw me inside the house 24/7. Like this job involves a lot of thinking. You see a person not doing anything, but here in the brain it's running
because
like
it's
anxious.
creative.
It's creative. So the problem started then when my mother noticed that she is just lying on the bed. She is not doing anything.
And till the time you don't move, it's not working, right?
So they're like, you're not studying, you're not doing masters. And I absolutely was against doing a masters in the same profession, because I feel it's okay, I have learned enough about this. Now I think if I learn something new, which is like related to health, or else fine, it's fine, whatever is going, let me, it's like YOLO. So for me,
so first time when you performed, right, the first thing like you did as a stand-up comedy, how was the feeling, and what was that moment that told you like, no, this is what I'm supposed to do?
My first set was killer set. So I did it in Odia, and I was like real me on stage. To be honest, I was not up to for this performance. Two of my best friends dragged me out of my house.
Okay.
They told me you have to perform, and I did it, and it was a really great set, and that pumped me with lot of energy that I can do it. A lot of dopamine rush was going there. The second mic I did was in Hindi, which I actually do it in Hindi. So the second mic which I did, I bombed. Third mic, I bombed. Fourth, fifth mic, then I wrote my own set, because when you bomb constantly, it just makes you, either you are unfunny or you're writing unfunny.
Okay.
So I thought I can write unfunny, but I am not unfunny, because I have been doing comedy for like since my childhood. I was the funny person. So then
that's there in your personality.
The fifth mic that I did, it was killer. And then I realized that, okay, this is something that I can do. I have to write better. I have to be very realistic in front of audience, like the first mic that I did. So irrespective of language, you have to touch the relatability factor with the audience. So when they relate, they laugh. It's not like you are just like tickling them to laugh. So they relate and they laugh. Then that's the ultimatum that I found, that when you write something relatable, when you make something relatable like content, So that's where I felt.
So if we say that the top three things that will make audience laugh is relatability and
Relatability, making fun, like they are there to laugh. So, I mean, they will be very supportive. So, I
Okay.
think making fun of them as well, if they are very okay.
and
Yeah,
engaging them.
engaging them. Yeah.
So
yeah.
relatability, engagement, and any other things which is very important when you're performing
How,
live comedy.
yeah, how you present yourself on stage. If you are nervous, they will make you nervous. So
Okay.
if you are confident, because you are holding the mic, you have the power. So the power, like it's totally you. So when you are very real in front of stage, when you are very real towards the audience, then people will definitely laugh.
And when you performed in your initial years, were you nervous and how you tackled
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. I was very anxious. I mean, I used to walk for like 1-2 kilometers before my performance. I uh, I encountered it by performing more. So when it's called, there is a total what terminology in our back I learned in bachelor's, systemic desensitization.
Okay.
So, in that, when you go up on stage again and again, you don't feel the anxiousness. You just have this fear that people might laugh or might not laugh. So, that's where by going up on stage again and again, bombing, of course, not making people laugh, seeing their faces that, "Ay, kya kar rahi hai?" So, that face sometimes.
You can feel it, right?
Yeah, you can. In first 2 minutes, you get it that this is not going well.
Yeah. Okay. and how do you re-engineer that moment? Like when you say that, okay, it is not working.
So I try to talk to them when my first two jokes doesn't land well. I try to talk to them. So if they are there must be some funny instances, like this recently. I'll just share an experience. I did my show, my first trial show in Odia, which is Chi 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 Re Nonni. So
Chi Chi Chi?
Re Nonni. So
Re
there is a
Nonni.
song, right, if you know.
Okay.
So in there there was this audience, and so she's an OS officer. So I asked her, in what sector are you working in? So she told, I work in corporation sector, and she was with her fiance. So I asked her, I'm like, do you fight? You guys fight? No, we don't fight. I'm like, yeah, of course, because you are in corporation sector, right?
Okay.
So that's how you get into the details of audience, and then eventually it makes people laugh. You have to find your hacks.
Oh, yeah, true. And comedy, how it looks from the outside, right? Like such a beautiful profession. Is it that smooth behind the stage and preparation stage?
It's not. I'll tell you. Any comedian you ask. So comedians have. I have like learned it from my senior comics as well. Comedians have this tendency, they can survive anywhere. So we have seen a lot of traumas. We have seen a lot of things which we are just molding it into comedy. But we have seen a lot. So we can survive anywhere. But coming back to your question, I don't think that it's easy. It's very difficult, because you can work for 9 to 5 and then chill, and then you go back to your work the next time. But being in this profession, creative profession, you are working 24/7, and that you are not writing, you're not showing anybody your project work. Your project work is viewed by the live audience who doesn't even know you, who they have no idea that you exactly exist till you perform on stage.
Yeah, and after doing so much of practice also, you might not be sure like how much likes or whether this video will go viral
that
or
has
something.
happened. That has the best videos I have. The best video I thought this will definitely go viral. That doesn't. So you have to make peace with being a comic or being a content creator, or any creative profession. You have to make peace with the fact that it's okay. It will not go well every time, but you have to be very strong. You have to hold up yourself, because this is if you have chosen your profession, your passion as your profession, you have to be very mentally strong, because nobody is paying you. You are getting paid because you presented yourself on stage.
Very true. And is there any, like, if there are so many content creators and content create aspirants are looking up to, because they are very creative, but what is that one success mantra, or what is that one, I think, life skill that you want to tell them?
There is exactly no life skill or success mantra, because audience, when we are trying to get into when we are making new contents, audience are someone, they are also evolving with us. So they will like to see new things. At one point you might be relevant, at another point you might be like you're out of the game totally. So you have to experiment. Experimentation is something which is the mantra of it. There is no particular mantra. You have to experiment. You have to know what audience wants, and you have to experiment within that.
And you have to constantly evolve and see what is working, what is
Every
not
time
working, and
you
experimenting.
every time any new trend, anything that you see over internet, you have to make yourself that creatively freedom, like free to adapt the changes and get in the sector and to make new content as well or stand up.
So people see your laughter, like people see your glamorous side of comedy sector, but people don't see the hustle behind. So if I say Varsha's life in one day, how it starts and how it ends.
So I have seen people vlog their life. I mean, they get up, they do breakfast, they eat lunch, proper protein, and this calorie deficit lunch and everything. My life looks like I just lie on the bed thinking what to do next. I
So
don't
is this the life of every content creator?
I don't know, but
Okay.
maybe they. So when we have work, we have a lot of work. We have so much on our plate. When we don't have work, that looks horrible. We are on our bed thinking about what can be done, what else we
What
can
next?
do, what's next, how we can be funny. We observe everything. I know how many lizards are there in my house. I don't even try to scare them away. Like, fine, exist with me.
Let's
I also
coexist. Yeah.
We observe everything.
Okay, saying that, how many lizards you have?
Five. There is one lizard, I named him Crocodile because it's fat.
Okay, it's like it's humor. I know, but actually, reality is it's not. It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary because actually this field, I'll tell you, comes with a lot of pros and cons. The pros would be you are getting a fame. You are a face already. People look up to you.
You have your
for
own
the-
brand,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. People look up to you to laugh. That's a biggest responsibility because you are making them laugh. At like they must be having a very tough time at in their life and everything. But the next pro is you're also getting paid good. I won't deny. I mean, the salary which I was working back in like 2021, I am getting like paid more than that. But that might not be the case the next month. That might not be the case that the other month. So we have to be very cautious about these are the pros, by the way. Cons would be, I mean, the recent situations, you know how the things are happening, and cons would be you might be irrelevant one day and nobody will recognize you, and then you have to find out how you can survive in this field.
Yeah, true, very true, and you have picked a very good point, like being controversial right now, like with comedians and be it any social content creators, and having this culturally unfit, like declaring and so much of hatred. So how you think content creators or stand-up comedians need to be mindful, careful on what content they are creating, what they are putting in social media, and how they're presenting in public?
I feel comedy is very subjective. Something might be funny for you, but something might not be funny for me. I might get agitated by some words spoken by a certain person. That's why we have a term called freedom of speech. So when we talk about that, I mean, comedy is very subjective. So we cannot say that this is funny, so you do it. This is not funny, so you should not do it. So it totally depends on how people shape their mentality, how people how people accept it. And I don't think that there should be any cancel culture or there should be any problem with someone trying to make you laugh. The only problem is when they try to kill you. The only problem should be if there is some police real issues involved. You know that comedy is the issue as of now, but I don't think the real issues are like comedy issues is way better, more than real issues.
Yeah, but how as a stand-up comedian we should be careful on and sensitive enough to any culture and any comments or any statements that we are saying?
So it totally depends on where you are performing, right? I cannot go up on stage performing for a corporate event and just say something bizarre. Because first they just give you an MOU of that you should not use this, you should not use that. And second thing is you should be very mindful speaking, because in front you are performing in front of dignitaries, and you are performing in front of people that they look up to, because they invite you to have fun. This is the first thing, that you have rules and regulations which you follow, because you are getting eventually you're getting paid. The second thing is that putting out on internet, or putting your content out on internet. So whenever a comedian puts out their own content over internet, so they try it in front of different audience. So that's why they know it's okay if you are making fun of a certain thing, people are accepting it. So they put it out on internet. But nowadays, I feel people are not all, but because of the recent content, people are like a little bit of intolerant about what words are spoken on internet, or what things are going over internet. So I think it's subjective, like how people like we have like billion of population in India, so we cannot just satisfy each and everyone. Like, hey, do you think this is funny? It's not.
Oh yeah, and in that case, do you have also your own do's and don'ts when
Yeah.
So okay.
So while putting out content, I don't mean to it's okay, people do anything, but I will not put out something which has strong language. So that's my photo, because a lot of family kids, they follow me. So I make sure that I don't put out something which is vulgar. I make sure of that. But when I do stand-up live shows, it's okay. I mean, you can just go little bit of double meaning sort of things, because college audience, they actually look up to it. I'm like, wow, it's funny for them. But when I'm performing for older people, I make sure that I will not speak something which is awkward for them, because different people, different opinions.
The underlining,
it's very subjective.
yes, and underlining thing is that we should be respectful and mindful.
That's the thing that I actually follow, because I cannot go up on stage in front of elder people and say something which is like, oh shit, yeah, I know like a lot of people out there, like it's okay, yeah, but I follow. That's my thing. So
have you ever had any situation or scenario when you were performing and you thought that, oh no, I shouldn't have made that punchline or a joke, or maybe that people didn't laugh at that thing, or people took it in a negative way? Have you ever experienced?
No, actually that never happened, and I'm very lucky, fortunate enough not like let that happen to me, because if at all so there was this one joke that I did, but later on I said sorry to that audience. They're like, it's fine, I'm fine with it. So he laughed, but fortunately, that this thing that I spoke something and that didn't, like, people didn't laugh and they felt awkward. I am very mindful while I speak on stage, and I advise that to the junior comics as well when they try to get up on stage and do something offensive for the audience, because the audience we don't know what mental state someone is
and
there.
They're the final.
They are the judges at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know what the audience are facing. So we do a body shame joke. That person might not be okay with it. So we don't know. So it's like, it's okay. You just can touch and leave.
So you are performing in regional language, in Odia language, and most of the content is in Odia. So how do you think, or what is your go-to strategy to have that spotlight or to stand out when actually comedy is taking spotlight for English and Hindi speaking?
So most of my actual comedy set is in Hindi. I do it in Hindi because I feel Hindi is mostly widely understandable by every one of them. My mom even watch Hindi serials as well. So I feel that is a very So I believe when I perform in Odisha, I have this touch of Odia cultural touch in it, like some relatability factor, which can make Odia people or the people I'm performing for. But there are jokes that I have written for pan-India purpose as well, because I want to reach to a wider audience with the language they understand, English, Hindi or something. But taking your question into consideration that you are asking content creation in the regional language and all, I mean, it's fine. Odia people are everywhere. So you can reach Odia people. And as I told that, it's not possible that you can satisfy everyone. So
that's your niche.
Yeah, that's my niche. Yeah. So I am very comfortable with doing it. I'm also trying to broaden it up for a upscale level. I can do it in 3 languages. It's my page. I can do it. So yeah.
And what is your signature style in Odia? if you can show to our audience.
Yeah, definitely. I have this character I just gave birth to.
So people know you by that character.
Yeah. So they call me Mousy.
Mouse.
So there is this Brahmpuri Mousy, and she is like purely blessing in disguise kind of woman. And she speaks a hedra pajama chucha kaja koi ni koi wala point to point katha ja koi. So
That was awesome.
So there's a character, and that person. So to be honest, that character is like somewhere deep in real me actually.
Okay.
The rant person. So yeah, in a different language.
So Mausi in Odia is, we call all our aunties Mausis.
Yeah.
So yeah. So can you repeat that signature dialogue again?
Hedra pajama chucha kaja koi ni koi wala point to point katha ja koi.
Can you please translate that for our global audience?
I will not say anything bizarre. I'll just say whatever. It's point to point. Just talking points.
Talking points, and usually our aunties are like that, right?
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are like loving also at the same time.
So I have I have spent 10 years in Berhampur. So loving, I don't know. But I know how to take, I have learned sarcasm from those aunties.
And you have put that in your comedy.
Yeah, I've like adapted it. I'm like, it's fine. I'm any which way turning into auntie. So I know why they gossip, because I sometimes enjoy gossip as well at this age.
And you said that your comedy is relatable, right? And you pick those comedies from day-to-day life, right? So, and when you observe something, so do you write it down? How you formulate that into comedy?
Yeah, I write on my notes, and later on, if I feel that, okay, this can be like structured in a video format, or it can be like elongated for a 1 minute long format, then I do it. But I'm someone who doesn't get bored so easily, because I told you the lizard thing, right? I observe everything. I observe the minute details of a person. So I don't get bored that easily. So observation is something that to make relatable content, it's very important to be an observational comic. So it plays a huge role when you do stand-up or when you make content.
So now because we are sitting in a studio and you're observing, it's so beautiful. So anything that quick 1 minute stand-up comedy statements that you can throw?
Okay. Actually, it's pretty, so I don't know how to make jokes out of it. So I don't think that I have any sort of observation, but
okay, let's go back.
Can I take this mic home?
Yeah, that we have to check. But tell a joke what you have framed for your lizards. Like 5 lizards you said, right? Anything that you have done on them?
Usually my mom used to say in Odia, you can later on just put subtitles on it, ki mo nakko kote delu. So I'm very frustrated, nakko kote delu, so brati 12 beluku. So it's like initial time when I used to do comedy. I used to come back home 12-1. So jio pila safe nu amo nakko kote delu. So I used to take that frustration out on lizard. I'm like, hey, tu lanjo kote delu.
Yeah, it's so good, right? Nakka katedilu. So this is a common dialogue told by our parents to us whenever we do anything bad. So it's like you have Nakko is nose. So it's like a kind of pride or something like parents are like,
Naak kata diya.
So naak kata diya. So it's like, yeah.
Like
and you related that to the lizard cutting tail.
It's not me who is just doing this nakko kata thing. This fellow must have done something. His or her mother must be saying lanjo kate dilu.
So you observe that also in creatures and do it perfectly. And I think it's a lot of humor you have in your personality, and I think that is very much important.
I love observing all these nonchalant characters in my hand. Cockroaches, I love observing cockroaches. I love it when they dance just by turning.
Okay, and then you relate that and to make content also.
So recently this thing has happened. This one cockroach was dying, and I tried to save that cockroach, because I felt like, okay, I should be the good person. Then I don't know, out of goodwill, that cockroach start crawling on my body. I'm like, dude, you should not do this. Take my consent first.
It's like doing good for someone, but it's coming in other way. Yeah.
I blame on Sunny Sade Sati.
It's brilliant because what you said, like you have always a goodwill, and you always state in your signature dialogue like what is your future and what you want to become. You always say that I want to become a good human being.
Yeah, I mean that's something which is I feel above any religion. Humanity is the first religion that we should follow. I'm like being good towards people. That being good towards people always come back, and that has done a lot of positives in my life. So yeah.
And how do you think by using comedy as an enabler, you are planning to do good to the society, bring something like, which will actually transform society and get into a good community?
Yeah. So this is actually a great question. I mean, I feel that for a moment, if I can make some group of people laugh, that plays a very positive impact in my life. But taking this into a global scale, people, why comedy videos get shared a lot? Because people find it relatable, people find it funny. So if I can, any global issues that you take, like people are using away a lot of like plastic, we can write it in a funny way so that can be reached to that can reach to a wider range of audience, and people can have this what we say awareness about not using a lot of plastic. Women's safety, that can be also written in a funny way that people will share it and they learn from it. I mean, learning is totally subjective for people, but we can make it in a way that people will find it funny, share worthy, and relatable.
And through this platform or through this comedy channel, right, people can make laughter, humor, and subjective and finding a purpose behind.
Yeah,
Right.
it like comedy is one and only thing that people can experiment with a lot of things because it involves writing, funny, creative writing. Because in like I don't know, I mean I might sound wrong, but for a lifestyle creator or for someone who is doing makeup, it's not that easy to do something and talk about. Environmental issues, to talk about women's safety, talk about real issues out in their world. But for a comic, you can be funny, you can just open up the camera, you talk in a funny way which people can find relatable and share worthy. So it's a good platform if you want to reach to a wider range of audience.
And what is the scope of women choosing comedy, stand-up comedy as a profession, especially for video women?
I don't think that nobody writes, I want to become a comedian in the slam book. I also wrote, I want to become a doctor, which I partially became. But if you see that you have this hunch in you, and if you see that you can make people laugh, it's worth giving it a try. But before choosing it professionally, you have to have a very strong backup. I will never advise anyone just to leave your studies and I want to become a comic. Nobody becomes a comic like that. And I'll be very honest, you have to be very sharp or very not intelligent, I'll say, but you have to be very smart while becoming a comedian. So for that, you have to get out there in real, like having this real life lessons about corporate work culture, about your college, about everything. I mean, it totally depends on different people. There are people who never went to college and became comedian, but they have their own experience. But I feel for an Odia girl who is like middle class or have no more like strong financial backup plan, I will never advise that person to just step in and say I want to become a comic. That will add on a lot of frustration. I repeat, a lot of frustration. I have been there, done that.
Yeah, so what you're saying that financial backup is very, very important.
Financial and educational backup is if it's not financial, your parents will back you up later on. But if it's not educational backup, then that might play a very huge role later on.
But why do you think that educational is very important? Because to make your comedy relatable?
No, it's not about relatable. But when you are in a educational setup, right? You observe a lot of things. You are getting content out of it. If you're smart enough, you can churn content out of anything. So when you are learning, then you are also learning about a lot of things altogether. You are getting yourself engaged out there in the real world, and that's what comedy is. Getting engaged in the real world, writing jokes, and then making real people laugh.
Do you think, because when you brought up a very interesting subject like, education, do you think we can bring comedy also as a part of educational curriculum?
I don't know. I mean, that is very
Because
subjective.
we have dance, we have everything, right? Music, but why comedy? Do you think in future it is possible, or the future generation can
So-
have comedy also?
I can teach you how to dance. I can teach you how to sing. I cannot teach you how to be funny.
Okay.
Being funny is something that a person wires his brain or her brain into. So it's not easy to teach someone to be funny. You are funny. You think you are funny. That's why you are on stage trying to make people laugh. So
Okay.
it's something which is, you cannot teach someone to be funny. You have your own observation. You have your own thing. You can just have a like jamming session that we say for with the fellow comics. But your observations should be funny.
And also, you should be tolerant, and your personality
Oh my
should be
God,
like
tolerance is the first thing. If you are getting into the creative field, any creative field, tolerance is something which you should, not just for females, males, everyone is getting trolled. So initially, when I started putting out my stand-up video, I got trolled. When I started putting out this content videos, I got trolled, and I made peace with it. I'm like, oh, this is just a Rocky Boy 0140 account speaking something bizarre, and I just need to ignore it.
that. Yeah. And how did you take it? Because do you think it was one of the struggle that you faced when you started?
Yeah, initially I used to get a lot, like affected a lot with all those things. Like there is some person who will say कि अरे तेरा शक्ल देखा है एकदम मर्द की तरह दिख रहा है, this things, and some people will say कि ha woman can be funny, this is not funny. Laugh, my favorite comment till now is laugh will be delivered in 3 to 4 business days.
What a statement!
Initially, and there is another one that okay,
I still remember.
please upload the video, but turn your data off. Initially, I used to मेरे को
So these
ऐसा
are the
कैसा
initial trolls that you
yeah,
got.
तो ऐसा कैसा बोल दिया मेरे को. I used to like bother my manager a lot. I'm like, ऐसा कैसा बोल दिया मेरे को. Then I'm like, what? These are funny. These are very funny. Much funnier than what I did on what I was putting on internet. I'm like, oh, nice. I can just wow. Now we take it very sportingly. अरे देखो मेरा शक्ल अच्छा नहीं है किसी ने बोल दिया. So this is how we.
And you take it easy on that.
Very now I'm like so tolerant. When we say in Odia, goru chamada that we say. So
Very
it's like,
thick-skinned, yeah.
yeah. So thick skin. You have to be very thick skin if you are. Because you are putting yourself out on stage. You are getting up on stage. You are any which way. If either you are embarrassed, that's why you are funny. If either you are embarrassing, that's why you are funny. Or else you are bombing, that's why it's funny for them later on. Because then they will talk about you. But we invited a comic and bombed.
And apart from you, what about your parents? I know you are very chill out, or you have become used to our Goru Chamada, what you said. But what about when your parents or your relatives, because they also see those trolls, and have they ever bothered you?
Yeah. A quick background check about my parents. My father was a theater artist. So it's something which is
So it's in the
DNA
genes.
helix, DNA helix thing played, and he later on gave up to feed his brother and sister, and because my grandfather passed away. So, but he was a theater. He still does. After retirement, he has plans to do theater again. So my father is very passionate. He sings as well. So the art thing came from there. But my mom is not someone who actually really is into art. So she follows me, and she knows what number of follower I exactly have right now. I can just call her and ask how many followers do I have. She knows, and she goes through all the comment. And then initial trolls, she was getting bothered. Someone wrote, "I will kill you," and my mom is like, someone wrote, "I will kill you." I'm like, that person doesn't even know where I stay. How can that person kill me? So she gets used to. Now she is also, I made her like myself. I'm like, laugh.
This is how family support is so important, right? Like, because they also play a major role. Yeah. And what's the biggest fear that you have in you till now?
I might be irrelevant one day. I am mostly earning from stand-up comedy. I'm mostly earning from brands. And one day that might, just like one day we got up and got to know that TikTok just vanished. So one day if Instagram vanished, like just it's banned because of some falana reasons, so I might be irrelevant one day. So that is not a fear, that is a truth, which I always know that I know that I might be irrelevant one day, and I have to make peace with it, that it's okay. This might happen. I have stand-up comedy. People will not find me funny. I'm replaceable as well. People will find some other youngster funny. I have to make peace with that as well. So these are the fears that every other creator has. But we have to make sure to be very creative enough to not to be replaceable. We have to be very creative enough that we will still stay relevant even though someone else comes in the game, like someone else, a competitor in the game.
And for doing that and for staying relevant and as per what is happening in the trend and all that, what is that one strategy that you follow?
Either follow the trend or make your own trend.
Brilliant. I think make your own trend sounds cool, right? Like saying that, my last question to you will be, what is that one message that you want to say to any young girl aspiring to become a stand-up comedian, especially from the place where I belong to, you belong to. So you are the first and only Odia girl doing stand-up comedy. So maybe you are the role model and people will be looking up to you. So what is that one message that you want to say?
I would say don't take it as a profession because you want to become a stand-up comic. Do it because you are passionate about it. When you start earning, when you know that my job earnings are way too less than the money I earn from stand-up comedy or passion, then you start doing it for full time. My second advice would be have this educational / financial backup so that your passion won't won't feel like a burden to you, because your passion, if you have chosen your passion for yourself, it should not be a burden. And when it starts feeling that it's a burden, you should leave, because something that you have chosen for yourself.
And that's a very important message, like, financial stability and what
I
you
always talk
mentioned is
about it
like,
because we see there are movies, okay,
and we have to be practical.
We have to be very practical in this real world scenario. We get out of our house, we need to spend 100 rupees.
Exactly.
And I'm not talking about I'm being very this money minded person. But we have to be very practical. When we get out of our house, we need to spend money. Everything involves money. Even in Delhi, oxygen, to breathe proper good amount of oxygen, we need money.
So let's be practical. Yes, passion is one thing, and that is so important. Like, we talk about passion, we talk about re-engineering our career and follow passion, but we have to be practical and be ready, future ready before we step into that
honestly, like
zone.
we cannot be this ki mera struggle story, like I will write my own struggle story, someone will listen. It's not if you might be just struggling and you will not be there that when someone tries to listen to you. So we have to be very practical when you choose a creative profession for yourself. So
Thank you so much. And before we wind up, I have a surprise game for you. Okay, because you are a real queen, you are a content creator, and I want you to answer in Odia or Hindi so that we can relate it. It's called Real or Real.
Okay.
So I'll be giving you a statement, and either you tell it, okay, I will take it for real, or you will make it a reel. Okay.
Cool.
So are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the first situation is when any relative asks, Beta, when are you settling down?
Real.
Is that the question that you're often asked?
Yeah. I'm 28. So my first and foremost question is, when are you getting married? I'm like, I'm not ready to get married because that would be child marriage. I'm still a kid.
Yeah, you think you are a kid, so okay, you will take that as real.
Yeah.
Someone says, but girls can't be that funny.
Real.
Okay.
Because I'll put my own content and let them know that, I am funny. You cannot just make comedy a gender specific thing.
Yes. You got trolled for a joke you actually love.
Real.
And actually it has happened?
Like anything you put out on social media, there are like 4 or 5 bizarre accounts. They'll say ki ghatiya hai, never put out. So you just make fun out of the reel. I'll just put the statement over here and I'll speak about it. Like, oh, ghatiya hai, just like your DP, which is not visible, just like your self-esteem.
Yeah, I must tell you, public, wow, you have everything for like any kind of comment you have to see, right? Like, okay, accidentally performed your script in the wrong language.
Real, because actually I have done it for some brands. Like the joke is very funny in Odia, but I have to translate it in Hindi or English, and then I know what happens.
Okay, so you have experienced that.
Yeah.
When you met a fan who thought you were a food blogger.
Happened.
Yeah?
I was, someone told me, oh, I love your videos. I'm like, thank you so much. Which one have you watched? The one which has Golgappa in. I'm like, okay, that was not me. I love your videos. I love when you eat mutton. I'm like, I'm a vegetarian, dude. So then I later on realized this guy is not the guy. I am not the person who this guy wants to have a word with. And later on, I'm fine.
Okay, so they interpret you as a food blogger.
Sometimes they told me that you are a YouTuber. And sometimes I'm like, I am not there on YouTube. Like I am there, but I'm not active on YouTube. So it's like I'm there on Instagram. So please just go through your briefs. Okay. Let some people.
And how is your response? Like how you feel when you get such thing?
It's okay.
Let it go.
I'm like, I'm not a food blogger, but I eat. So, maybe.
Okay. Have you ever gone through anyone saying, beta log kya kahenge?
Real. Yeah, every time. So this is a very common joke that my father used to say, Lokko mane na nakkore anguthi mari ki hasibe jaha tu koruchu. So my father, so you can understand for the like greater concept, people will laugh behind your back. That totally it means. So I'm like, yeah, it's not behind my back. That laugh in front of me, Papa.
Not behind the stage.
Not behind the stage.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it was such a pleasure knowing you. And for our Dubai audience, and as you're performing tomorrow in a bigger scale, any punchline that you have for Dubai audience?
So this is something which is related to family. I think video will be out after I perform, right? So I can do it. So there is this thing that joint family are joined till a point that the land dispute doesn't happen. So we are very cautious in Odia कि आमे ओडिया रे भी एते जानी चुकी परे प्रॉब्लम निहाती हबो सेते बे आमे ओडिया रे दियर रो स्त्री को भी कहू जा.
Wow, amazing. Ja, yeah, the context.
We know the future. We predict the future. That's why we have ja. Choto ja, bada ja.
Yeah, if you can tell this in Hindi, in your language or in English, it would be so fun. Yeah, like, yeah, this is how you relate. Absolutely gorgeous and unbelievable. You are absolutely doing a great job and making people laugh. I think this is the greatest God creation and one of the beautiful, right? And wishing you good luck. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
And for our audience, and I think Barsha is not only ruling or telling the punchlines, but I think you are breaking the stereotypes through your punchlines.
We have this Haryana population of first female comics in Odisha. So I really love when I see a female doing open mics, but I have not seen someone being very consistent with that. I hope that eventually time will change and we will get more female comics. It will not be me. There will be someone sitting over here and Madhusmita will be taking the interview at that time.
It will be an honor, and definitely I think you will be the role model. You are the role model. And people will look up to you, especially Odia girls, if you are listening to us. And this is the future. And you actually have proved that comedy doesn't need anyone's permission. It's courage that really works. Yeah. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much, Madhusmita, for having me. And it's like absolutely lovely, real conversation that I had.
And to my audience listening to us, if you really like this episode, please like, share, and comment. And Barsha has really proved that stand-up comedy, laughter, doesn't need anyone's permission. Rather, it just needs a little bit of courage to stand up for yourself. So Keep listening to Reengineer Podcast and do reengineer your life with love, purpose, and passion. Till then, signing off, Madhusmita Nayak, the host of Reengineer Podcast. Thank you. If this story moved you, don't just scroll. Share it, start a conversation, and subscribe to be part of something that redefines what it means to grow. And if you have an inspiring story, please get in contact with her team, info@reengineeringclub.com.